DuBard School allowed our child to be the best that he could be.
The DuBard School gave me tools for life.
I would say it's definitely unique.
It's life-changing.
Well, the DuBard School works miracles. Absolutely works miracles.
The DuBard School is hope for children and their parents.
Plainly speaking, the DuBard School is just a godsend.
It's just amazing.
When you walk in this place, it's just love.
This is kind of where miracles are made, right here at DuBard. My son went to DuBard School when he was young, and at that time I kept saying, well, when is my son going to learn about geography and math and all these other things? And they had to school me and explain to me that if you cannot communicate, if you can't read and hear and communicate, then all those other things you can't learn.
Tell me, what did you get for Christmas?
I got, I know my favorite thing. I got the kitten, a Power Angel cartoon. That's my favorite thing I got.
Oh, wow.
And I got a power truck.
What does it look like? The costume?
It's a Power Angel midget truck.
When you want the simplest of things, like a glass of water, and you don't know how to do anything other than to make a noise and to point, it's very frustrating.
All right, let's do it slowly. All right, but let's do it slowly. All right, very good. You got a star. How many stars are up there? All right.
Language disorders are not like, oh, well, this is exactly what we need to do.
When families come here at first, they are usually highly stressed, frustrated, maybe sad, maybe angry.
We spent over a year going to different doctors and learned people trying to find out what was wrong with Webb. We got every kind of diagnosis from there's nothing wrong, before you give him a glass of milk, make him say the word milk, to I think he's mentally retarded and he'll never be able to learn, to everything that's in between.
It was frustrating for everybody because he thought that he was communicating with us and all we were hearing was just a different language. I mean, we didn't know what he wanted.
Until he came here, there wasn't much hope for his communication skills and his social skills.
The mission of the DuBard School for Language Disorders is to bring the gift of oral and written language to individuals challenged with severe communication disorders and including the disorder of dyslexia. And we do that through the DuBard Association method. And what's unique about it is that it is a phonetic multisensory approach. Instead of immersing children in language, it teaches children one sound at a time. They build then to syllables, they build to short words and longer words, and then they apply that vocabulary in various sentence structures.
They arrived early at the lake and unpacked the car.
So it's a different kind of speech therapy because not only do we want the child to say the item well and understand it when other people say it, but simultaneously they're learning to read and write everything that they're learning to say.
The association method made things tangible, whether it was hearing, whether it was touching, whether it was writing, whether it was speaking. And that was different from anything else that we had seen before that.
I had the privilege of working with a young man. He was about 5. They were from out of state, and they were here for the summer just to determine if DuBard Association method might help him learn how to talk. He'd never been able to say the word mama. So we started working on sounds, and so we made sure we got the sound in there and everything. And so I think about the end of the 3rd week, he went out and said, "Mama," and we all cried.
When he started here at DuBard, he could write his name and he could tell you that he was Mark Holland. If you ask him a question, he could answer you in 1 or 2 words. Now he's reading, he's writing, He'll start his own conversation with you. You don't have to ask him something.
Is beside a ladder.
He is just a blabbermouth, I guess you would say.
I'm living proof that the DuBard Association method works. My ACT scores were good, but it was really tremendously buoyed by the reading section of the ACT. And that allowed me to get a full scholarship to LSU. So I never would have had that opportunity because that component of my ACT is directly attributable to the association method and the writing and the language that we did here. There's no question about that.
His progress at the DuBard School was phenomenal. He became a better communicator. It helped him with his self-esteem and his self-confidence. And it also helped him with his peer relationships.
DuBard School and DuBard Association method is not just about speech, but it's also learning how to communicate effectively, learn how to use the oral communication skills in the proper ways. When you would say something to someone and when you don't, just some of those pragmatics of language. So speech is just really the beginning.
He knew he was getting what he needed, and not just in his speech and language development, but in his self-image and the love and the positiveness, the discipline, the manners. I mean, they were teaching my child such good manners.
Another thing that each one of these children learn, and we've seen, is that child's compassion and understanding for the other children. When my son would get around somebody in a wheelchair or disabled in some other fashion, he had a total appreciation for that, whereas a lot of people will feel ill at ease and not address that person. He would look over him and say, "Hey, how fast does that thing go?"
DuBard School is definitely unique in that when children come here on a full-time enrollment, that there's no charge to parents or to school districts for this service, because in most settings, this would be a private pay basis.
That it's free is just unreal to me. Of course, I would sell my house if I had to pay for tuition because it's that important.
The state funding with the subsidy from private giving enables a lot of these children that wouldn't have that opportunity. They'd be lost.
Just because you have a child with a disability doesn't mean that you can afford to send him to a private school. And it's a blessing, a true blessing for a parent, for their child to be able to attend a school that provides this kind of education and this kind of support for a child with a disability, and you not have to pay a dime out of your pocket. I can't even articulate how I feel as a parent. I'm just so appreciative to the DuBard School.
The University of Southern Mississippi is proud to have as one of its important programs the DuBard School.
Dr. Etoile DuBard was brought here by the university and United Way in 1962 at a time when we didn't even have a speech and hearing sciences department or a degree program.
I started at the DuBard School as a freshman, and I'm now a first-year audiology doctoral student.
Well, the university students win on a couple of levels. First of all, they enrich their professional development by hands-on working with children with communication disorders, but also they do a lot of good.
Just the fact that I've had so much hands-on experience with hearing impaired children, I can better relate to them, I understand their learning styles, and I'm just much more comfortable overall because of the experiences here.
It's good that people know that USM really encourages and supports a program that can give help to the citizens of this state that they really can't get anywhere else.
The school started with 3 students and Etoile as the teacher. And today we serve 80 children full-time, and they are from about 20 school districts in about 15 counties. And then we serve an additional 40 children in our out-client therapy program where they come 2 to 3 one-hour sessions a week. Our goal at the DuBard School is to serve as many children as possible. But no matter how many children we serve at this site, we know that impact will be limited unless we teach other professionals how to utilize this across the country. And so we're very committed to the professional development program, to sending people around the country to teach these techniques, as well as to provide offerings here where others can come and learn how to implement the association method techniques so they can take that back to their own communities. Volunteers are so important to the DuBard School, and the most important volunteers that we've had since 1991 would be the advisory board members. They are the ones who are so passionate about the school, about moving forward, and about being sure that we are there for the children of the future.
Now my son is enrolled at Northeast Jones High School, and he's in a traditional setting, and he is doing great. He's on the honor roll, student council, beta club. He's doing wonderful.
I always hoped that I would be at this point in our life, but I didn't know how good it would feel to be able to take family vacations and for Sydney and Mark to play, and me not to just have my hand on him at all times. You know, scared that he would run away and not be able to communicate with somebody to at least tell them my parents are right there. I mean, it's just such a relief.
One of the things I take great pride in is being able to work with people. And people feel like they can come communicate with me and vice versa to make things happen.
In graduating from LSU, and what's he doing right now? His main thing is communications. So it's definitely the DuBard School that allowed him to be the man he is today and obtain the success that he has obtained.